Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the brand new 2024 BMW X6. This is the M60i. It's finished off in Brooklyn Gray Metallic, and the MSRP on this model is just over $111,000. We have a lot of options and goodies to go over for this performance-oriented SUV. Let's start off with what powers the M60i. This is the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. It's paired to a hybrid electric system along with the 8-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, sent through that xDrive all-wheel drive system. It will propel this 5,300-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. Top speed is 155 miles an hour. And as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking at 17 miles per gallon in the city, 22 out on the highway. Now, like I mentioned, this is the all-new X6, so we do have some distinctive differences up front, including the DRL and turn signal, which has this point to it. Everything is LED, of course, a little bit different of a style for that housing. And then with the M Sport Pro package, it gives it the matte black surround for the kidney grille. There's gloss black in the middle, plenty of areas for airflow to go through. This has a forward-facing camera as well. Even more gloss black down below with all these sensors, a lot more cutouts. Even the ones in the far section of the bumper are functional too. And this does have a sensor right in the middle for the adaptive cruise and all of that tech. Very nice lines that come down the hood with the BMW badge right in the middle. So not completely different from the 23-year model, but we do have some nice subtle updates. Now for this model, this has a set of 22-inch wheels with the M Sport brakes finished off in blue, nice multi-spoke design with that gloss black finish. There's also a trim piece just behind that tire. This does have power folding side mirrors with the camera and turn signal. We have the full moonroof, more gloss black for the window trim, and then some nice lines that run down the side. So we'll start at that trim piece there. It goes in the lower section of the door there. And then with the X6, you get that coupe-like design. So a very steeply raked rear glass compared to the X3 or X5. And then in back, this also has a small trunk-mounted spoiler. It's finished off in gloss black. We have a thinner design for those LED taillights, backup camera, all the parking sensors that are also in that lighter gray trim piece. The lower diffuser finished off in Brooklyn Gray. And then this has that quad tip dual exhaust, which you can remote start. Simply just triple tap this button here on the key fob, and then you can use that as well to shut it off. You can also use either the key fob or this button up underneath. If you push on it hard enough there, it will open up where you still get a good bit of space. Now, like I said, with that steeply raked design, you do lose a little bit of height, but look at what makes up for it. You have a pretty spacious cargo area. There's a spare tire underneath. You could put some smaller items down here if you really wanted to. There's also a hook, 12 volt. We have the cover, which you can fold out, you can completely remove. You can even fold down those back seats if you need a little bit more space. And then you have the buttons up top to close it or lock it as well. As we move on to the back seats, this door panel is very nice. We have all of the leather. There's even the manual adjusting sunshade, all of the brushed aluminum accents, Bowers & Wilkins for the audio, carbon fiber, interior ambient lighting, and then even more storage down below. The M badge is also an illuminating badge, and then all of the leather works its way to these back seats. Now at 5'10", I have plenty of space. There's also storage pockets. There's an area where you can place a tablet. You can also charge it too. These are heated rear seats. We have all of your adjustments for fan speed, temperature, everything like that. A little bit of space where you could place a phone, and then a 12 volt is located down below. Now in the middle for the armrest, we have a little bit of space as well as 2 cup holders. And then you can even fold down this middle seat. If you need a little bit more space, you want a higher armrest, very easy to do that. Now this also has a full Alcantara headliner, full moonroof there as well. And you still have a good bit of visibility even with those pillars there. I like that we have the smaller window there so you can still see around those. So even with that design from the exterior, it's still easy to see from the interior. Now the door panel up front is just like the rear. However, we have the massaging functions. You can even adjust the passenger front seat, push on that button, use the buttons down below. You can adjust that as needed. We have memory seating controls, all the window adjustments, more storage down below. And then the M60i is also another illuminating badge, and we have the same design for these front seats. Now, all new for the 24 X6, we have the gauge cluster infotainment system all in that one screen, and we have the new shifter design. So let's start this up. We can go over all this information. We have the M Sport steering wheel finished off in solid leather with all the colors that are stitched within it. Cruise, adaptive cruise control settings, there's volume tuning, as well as your Bluetooth and voice commands, and then paddle shifters are on the back side. Now, if we use this button right in the middle, we can go through some more info within this gauge cluster setup. So this is how it is currently set up. If I push on that button, now we can go into layout, where we can change that as needed. So there's 3 different layouts, just depending on what you'd like to see. And with all 3 of those, you can still go through all of this information. So it just depends on how you would like to view it. You have a good bit that you can go through. I wouldn't say it's a whole lot of info, but it is a little bit more than the previous models had. And then you even have some controls for the head-up display where you can look at your standard view, your directional, and then your assisted view as well. Over on the left side, all the headlight adjustments, a little bit of storage down below, more carbon and brushed aluminum. Entire dash is finished off in leather. And then for the infotainment system, this screen was introduced 2022, 2023, and then for 24, we have a little bit different of a setup with this split screen design. So you can quickly get into all this information from the driver's side, which is nice. And then on the lower section, these are all presets. So you have your music, you can get into your nav, even get into all of your climate adjustments. If we go to home, we're back to this screen here, and then you have a lot more apps that you can get into. There's Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you can get into your interior lighting, owner's manual. There's a lot, just depending on what you need for the day. And the last one is for your phone. Now, if you've been able to tell, we do have shortcuts on both sides for your heated and ventilated seats, and then for your heated steering wheel on your driver's side. And then you can quickly adjust the temperature on both sides. Very easy system to go through. More carbon underneath that with some gloss black surrounding the air vents. There's power and volume for the radio, as well as tuning and some other defrosters. And then if we open up the carbon fiber lid, wireless charging, tons of space, cup holders, and auxiliaries. And then on this right side, this is how you can use the screen if you don't want to use it as a touchscreen system. So you can quickly get through all of this, and then you have the rotary dial to further go through that. On this left side, there's traction control as well as parking sensors. And then right in the middle, this is the all-new shifter. Now, this is not new from BMW. It's new within the last few years, but it is new for the X6. We have that 360 view, which is not new. It gives you all of the angles that you need, especially the 3D view, so you can easily see around the entire vehicle. If you put it into drive and then go into one of these, now we have that forward-facing camera for all of those angles. If you pull back on that one more time, it goes into S, which is for the paddle shifters, so you can use those as needed. And then we also have the different driving modes. With the driving modes, the M logo and the rest of these lines will light up, so they are currently red right now. They will change for comfort, and then the last one is Eco, where you have a few different settings as well. Downhill assist control, auto hold, and the e-brake are also back there. A little bit of space in the armrest, as well as the glove box there. And then up top, you just have your dome lights, as well as your controls for the sunroof and that sunshade. Visibility from the driver's seat is pretty good, actually. You can look over both shoulders. You can use your side view mirrors. It really doesn't hinder your visibility to get that shape. But let's go ahead and get the all-new X4 out on the road. And in sport mode, second gear, here we go. Shifts are super quick. Of course, this has a lot more potential than what I'm putting it through today, with well over 500 horsepower and torque. This is going to be an incredible SUV to drive. So behind the wheel now of the six-figure X6, this one is fully loaded. So if you're not looking to spend quite that much money, you can take some of the options away. However, I think this is a beautiful spec to go with. All the carbon fiber, alcantara. We have a lot of awesome creature comforts too to make this a very nice daily driving SUV. Steering is super tight too, which is nice. And this is a heavy vehicle, but for the turns that I've been able to take with it for today, it seems to handle nice. It's not going to be as much or handle as well as a BMW sports car, so like an M4, for example, just because of the added weight, you know, higher center of gravity being an SUV. But if you still want to retain some of those characteristics, BMW does a great job at integrating that into their SUVs, so that way you can still feel like you're in a sports car or a coupe, but you have the practicality with it being an SUV. And let's talk about the technology real quick. I know a lot of people aren't a huge fan of this new screen as well as the shifter, but it gives it more of a clean look down below, very minimal, so it's almost flush with everything else. And then with the screen, it just gives you a larger view of the information that you need to go through. So it's beautiful. It's what you would expect from a BMW. You know, I've had my X5 for several months now, and I really don't have anything to complain about. Turning radius is also very tight, but there's not much that I can really pick apart. Now, like I said, I've owned it a few months, so I'm not trying to be biased towards BMW, but that's why I bought one. I love them. They're super fun to drive. You have so many different options that you can go through as well. And it's going to be a reliable vehicle, very easy to maintain and keep on the road. That's going to wrap it up though for the 24 BMW X6 M60i. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Check out their website, that link is down below. Give the video a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.